gonna be our next one.
Hello everybody, I'm Liesbeth Deddens. I'm content manager at eBay, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I will be talking about how I ended up there. This is the Shard, and it's situated in London. But first a little background. I will try to explain in 4 minutes how I got there. So the central theme of my presentation is about climbing. Probably not very surprising considering the picture. I grew up at the countryside of the Netherlands, and I was already climbing in trees, climbing on rooftops, etc. And that's how my climbing career started. I studied communicational sciences, and during my studies I did a climbing course, which was an eye-opener to me, because there was actually a place where you were allowed to climb what was meant for climbing, so which was great for me. But soon my friend and I discovered that there were real mountains out there, and rocks and frozen waterfalls to be climbed, etc. So we found ourselves driving towards the Alps about every 2 weeks, because as you can imagine, the Netherlands are quite flat. You can only climb indoors, so we were in the Alps a lot. We figured it would probably make more sense to move closer to the mountains. And so we started looking for jobs, and luckily we both ended up having jobs in Switzerland. And we've been here for a few years now. But also being in the mountains that I love so much made me see how vulnerable they are and that they need protection, especially from climate change. And that's how I started as a Greenpeace climber. What you see here is the crew that climbed the Shard. It's me with 5 other women. Why the Shard in London? Is because we were protesting against Arctic drilling from Shell, and Shell has its head office in London and 2 other offices, and they can all see the Shard. So what we would be doing there would be seen by Shell. This was when we were halfway up. Actually it was a 15-hour climb in total. So this was, well, probably about 7 hours. We were still smiling then. Again, a bit less maybe. And I have to say, I wake up at night thinking, what were we doing? It's still a bit scary, looking back at it. But rest assured, we were trained very well, we planned everything into detail. It was sort of a special ops, because we actually had the construction drawings of the building. We went there to look, we took pictures, we made a scale model of the Shard. We actually built part of the climb so we could train and practice our system. So it was really like what you see in movies in terms of planning and training, etc. And I have a small movie that summarizes the climb.
6 Greenpeace activists are climbing the Shard building in London to protest against what all company Shell's plans. Standing over 1,000 feet as the tallest building in Western Europe, protesters have said that once they reach the top of the building, they will hang a banner which will capture the beauty of the Arctic. One of the climbers, Victoria Henry, a 32-year-old Canadian living in Germany, tweeted beforehand, "Months of training and secrecy end here. I'm scared but incredibly excited about today." A spokesperson for the Shard said they were working with the relevant authorities to try and ensure the safety of those concerned. Greenpeace activists have previously forced the closure of dozens of Shell petrol stations in London and Edinburgh in protest at the company's plans to drill for oil in the Arctic.
So that's how I ended up there. Any questions? Actually, we put a smaller band and then we planned because it was getting dark and we wouldn't have time to put the big thing we wanted. And we wanted, there were actually helicopters circling above our heads, cameras, we wanted them to see it, of course, so we did a little better. Yeah.
What's the next adventure?
I can't tell, of course, because then they will stop us. But I'm sure I'll be climbing somewhere again, yes.
What did you learn from that?
What did I learn? Well, personally, what was interesting to me is that I've never been on a climb where I had backwards, where I was backwards feeling uncomfortable. Because for this climb, we were, as I said, we were training and preparing for months and weeks. And I was so focused, and everybody had his role, and I couldn't fail. Because, I mean, there were people, you know, depending on us, and I was one of the lead climbers, so if I wouldn't get up, my team wouldn't get up. So during the climb, I was really focused and going for it and doing what was necessary. But then backwards, I was lying in bed, picturing myself hanging somewhere with meters of air behind me, knowing that if I would fall off, I would at least break something. So then I never had, afterwards, I never had such an uncomfortable feeling about something. And that's what I learned, that it's actually possible, apparently, for me to cross a line during a climb, still do what I need to do, but maybe cross a little boundary somewhere. But the positive thing is I dealt with it at the moment that was necessary, so it's actually good.
Did you get arrested?
Yes. Yes. We had the pleasure of spending an hour of, I think, 12 or 16 in a British cell. Yeah.
They're very polite in British cops anyway.
It's absolutely one of the best places to get arrested. The worst place to get arrested. Oh, Finland. They're really not nice. I don't give them any food, no drinks. I cannot recommend that. No.
Is it harder, like physically or mentally? Do you lose concentration at some point, like
Yes.
after climbing for so many hours?
Yeah, it was about, I think for a year, it was about halfway, a bit further, when I was feeling tired. Of course, physically you get tired, and I mean, the more food and drinks you take, the heavier you get, so you can't bring everything you would like to have. So I was getting exhausted, and I was starting to climb. I wanted to start, I'm like, oh, I'm tired, and then I actually slipped. Luckily, it was at a point where it was possible, but that made me realize, ooh, this is my sort of, yeah, I think it was mainly focus, because I was still physically able to climb, but I needed a break, took a sip of Coke, and then I could go again. But I think it was mainly focus and letting the tiredness give it a place. How do you say it? You know, I should have pushed it away further.
And how did you go back down? Did you actually go through the building or
Yeah.
you went?
Yeah, we could go through the building because they were waiting for us.
What has Shane feedback to you?
Sorry?
Did you have a feedback from Shane on this action?
Yes, they said, yeah, as long as they do it safely and we do what we have to do. It's not really a positive response in that sense. Of course, we would love them to say we will not go drilling in the Arctic, but it's not realistic. But at least they got the message, I think, and there was a lot of support for this, and it was broadcasted in the media quite big. So I think at least they got the message. There are a lot of people who don't want this.
Do you put this in your CV?
No, generally employers don't really like people who are arrested.